Yeah, appreciate you guys being here. Shout out to Coach Guard and his staff. Big time win the other night for them. Appreciate our fans that were able to come out tonight. Thought there was some really good energy at different stretches in the game. Was proud of the way we came out of the gates. Thought we really battled, got after it defensively. Obviously put them at the free throw line too many times, and thought we did a better job on the boards in the second half. Ball security obviously hurt us tonight. I think they ended up scoring 26 off our turnovers, which was critical. We've got to be able to play 12 or less. But proud of these girls. I tell you what, we play in a really, really tough league, and I know you guys know that. I believe there's 10 teams in this league that are top 25 in net. It's a dogfight night in and night out. And, there's nobody easy on the schedule, and you got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep battling, and that's exactly what this team has done. I thought we had 2 really good days of practice going into this game. I thought we had a good game plan. Got into some foul trouble in that first half that really was critical for us, I felt, but proud of this group.
We'll open up the floor to questions for the student athletes. Mark, you can start.
Kieran, Ryan, just can you speak to Minnesota's defense? They are field goal percentage-wise, they're one of the better defenses in the league. You guys shot well. The turnovers, as Coach mentioned, were a problem. How were they able to do that? What is it about them that maybe makes it a challenge in terms of ball security?
I think they do a really good job of being in help, and so making driving lanes seem way smaller than they are, and then doing a good job of really closing out hard to shooters as well. I think we just needed to play off of 2 better and see their help a little bit more.
Ronnie, obviously a lot of emotions coming out of this loss with them being close rival, but there was a lot of emotion from you heading to the bench that one final time. What was kind of going through your head, and what did that conversation look like with Coach?
I say every emotion was going through my head. I mean, last time playing, hometown school, and here losing by what we lost by, it just wasn't a good feeling. And coming out, Coach spoke some good words to me, and I'm able to feel a little better about the situation. But it was just hard. I'm almost to the end, so I just want to get a win so bad, and that's just where those emotions came from.
Sean?
You guys had one of your tougher shooting nights from behind the arc. What was it? Was it just kind of their defensive ability to really kind of stick and not give up a ton of easy looks? Just what was it about tonight that made things more difficult in terms of shooting from behind the arc? I think Shea, Lacey, and Destiny were were over in there. Some of your guys more reliable 3-point shooters.
Yeah, I think they really do a good job of closing hard. I think that's even when you feel open, their hand is really high, and it can affect your shot a little bit more. And then they do a good job of reading the pass, so they're always moving on the fly of the ball, which I think makes it just their time it shortens up a little bit. I think those are some of the main things.
Mark?
Second half, as your team's trying to come back, they shot 64% in the second half. I mean, similar to what I asked about their defense. What offensively, when your team's on defense, what makes it tough to kind of contain what they were trying to do today?
I mean, like you said, being down, it takes a lot more to come back from being down than being up by 10 points the whole game. So I think we just got to realize that it's a lot harder to come back in games, and that we just want to stay with teams. One possession games, not multiple possession games, and just having that urgency to want to defend, want to stop them, want to get, like we call it, kills, 3 stops in a row, want to do that, play at our standards. And today in the second half, in kind of the second quarter, we let them get comfortable. In the first quarter, we didn't. We were making them put the ball on the floor, we were making them take tough shots, we were rebounding. And, when things started to go our way, we kind of caved in. And in those moments, we just got to stick together and, stay at our standards.
Sean?
How much did the foul trouble hurt you guys? Because it seemed like you guys were able to get inside early, and losing both bigs and Destiny too. Just how much do you feel like that affected you guys with just having to kind of go smaller and not really having a huge post presence with that early foul trouble?
Yeah, I think part of it is we just got to be resilient and find a way, find solution. There's solutions. There's always a solution is something we say often, and so I think just doing a better job of scrambling for each other, getting in the paint, making it hard. They did a good job of stealing us, and so I think we can do a better job of helping each other.
Mark?
Coach mentioned the how the number of quality teams in this league. I guess I'm just wondering how do you two as players kind of stay encouraged, staying positive at this stage of the season, dog days of the season. How do you both go about that?
Just know what we're capable of as a team. We've had great games, we've had bad games, but just finishing this season knowing what we're capable of, going in every game like it's the first game, like it's a game we have to win, and just having that dog mentality. Like we're very capable of, and you guys have seen what we're capable of, and just getting back to that us.
Yeah, I think something we've talked about all year is staying present in that next play speed. I think it's really important just attacking everything we can do each day and not getting too far ahead or staying too much in the past. So I think really being present in the moment and then coming alongside each other when we're down, and that's really helpful. It's way easier to do it when you have someone behind you, beside you, instead of by yourself.
Any other questions for the student athletes? You two are good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark, you want to start?
Yeah, Robin, just to kind of follow up on that last question, I kind of want to get your thoughts in terms of maybe what, as a coach, how do you maybe keep a team encouraged at this stage, especially when you, as you've noted, you have a lot of players who haven't played at this, haven't gone through a Big Ten season before, but how do you as a coach handle that kind of situation?
I think when you really are intentional about building that culture in the locker room, I think it shows up in times like this and the resiliency and, we've got an incredible group of young ladies in that locker room. We talk a lot about living your life based on principles and not emotions. And, in those moments where you just want to, you're frustrated, you're mad, you're disappointed, you're angry, to just really show up and live in the standards that we talked about in June. How can we be at our best for each other? I think KD made a great point. When you're surrounded by people that are leaning into something bigger than yourself, it certainly helps. Is it hard? There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm not a good loser. We don't like to lose. Losing's no fun. But it's part of the journey that we have in building this program and keeping things in perspective, I think, is really important. Right now it's basketball. Later on it's going to be life. It's going to come a lot harder than that scoreboard does. And so, how we can continue to put our shoulders up, our back, and soldier on, and be the best version of ourselves for each other, it becomes really, really important. But those things, we talked about way back in June.
Sean?
What in your mind was key to that second quarter? Because obviously they closed on that, I think it was 8-4 run to end the first, and then to outscore you guys by 15. I think it got 9 points off turnovers in that quarter alone. Just what in your mind was just the key that kind of flipped things for you guys? Obviously the foul trouble hurt, but just for them to be able to really kind of just build off of that momentum late in the first.
Yeah, it seemed that we had a hard time staying out of foul trouble, obviously. We've got our two bigs that played, I don't even know, in the first half. Let's see. Gifty played 6 minutes and Doria played 5, and they both had 3 fouls. Destiny played 11, had 3. I mean, we just, kind of got out of sync. That's a lot of just a big part of our rotation, and it made it really challenging. And again, you're playing a really good team. I mean, hats off to Dawn and her staff, and that entire team. They've done a really good job. They're playing with a lot of confidence. I thought they bent at times, but they didn't break, and that's a sign of a really, really good team. They've got a great inside-out punch. They've got the ability to, the size. We had a hard time keeping them out of the paint, and then you try and double, and they'll make you pay from the three-point line. So a really good inside-outside punch. Ball security was big for us. You know, we had way too many turnovers. We've shown signs of when we can handle it and when we haven't, and we ended up with 21, 10 in the first, 11 in the second. You know, you just can't afford those empty possessions. I thought defensively, I was really proud of the way we came out of the gates. I would say there was a handful of possessions that we didn't make the second and third efforts on. And you have to do that against a team like this. You know, you got to stay in the fight. And it's about the resiliency in those possessions. And, you know, there's some that we left out there for sure. But overall, really proud of our girls. Not satisfied, but proud of them.
Coach, kind of following up on that, obviously there's a lot to look at within this last 6-game stretch. As you said, a lot of fight and a lot of resiliency. But throughout these last 6 games, marking 6 straight losses, what has been the most disappointing part for you?
I just wanted so bad for these young ladies. You know, I mean, they work really hard. You know, they've been phenomenal in that locker room. They've been so fun to coach. The hardest thing for me is, you know, I just want to see them succeed on that scoreboard. They're winners. They're going to be phenomenal, successful in life for sure. But you just want the result, right? Especially when the process has been so great. And they've really leaned into that, and so you want the outcome to look a little bit different. But, you know, it's this league. I mean, they're line them up. Teams have gone on 4- and 5-game losing streaks in this league, depending upon how the schedule lines. One possession away in that Washington game, you know, what does that change, the energy, whatever. But, you know, it's hard. Losing's hard. But you got to keep things in perspective. You got to dust yourself off. You got to keep battling, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Mark?
Yeah, Coach, along those lines, I mean, you know, that's a really good perspective to have, and I guess I'm wondering, as a coach, I mean, how does, you know, when did that? Have you always had it? Did it take some time to evolve? Was there a point where you kind of, looking back at your career, where you kind of started to, maybe as opposed to looking at the day-to-day wins and losses, kind of started to realize more the bigger picture of, you know, building a team and, you know, uplifting players?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. If you'd go back in my early days of coaching, those girls could, you know, I didn't have balance. And I don't have great balance now. Do not get me wrong. I'm not okay with losing. I'm a fierce competitor. I can't wait to get back up there, watch film, get back on the practice court. The thing that makes me feel the best is the next day when we can get back after it. And so that's hard. But I see the way they show up in that locker room. You know, I think perspective is important. We've talked about this before. A number of our young ladies haven't played in the Power 5 before. It matters. You know, that experience under your belt matters. Just understanding what it takes day in and day out, mentally, physically, emotionally, how to take care of your body, how to take care of your mind. It's a lot. And, you know, we just got to, and I think there's been some really good stretches for us. But like I said, out of the gates at the very beginning of this year, the most important thing to me is that foundation and that culture in the locker room. And, you know, I think we've built something pretty dang powerful and special in there that will be carried over into future years for sure. I want it for our seniors, you know. Ronnie, man, she's meant so much to this program, and we've got some other seniors that have really invested in that senior year so hard. But they're winners. I'm proud of them. We're going to keep battling, and we'll see how it all falls out.
Sean?
You guys obviously did a moment of silence to open the game with the passing of Teresa Huff. Had you gotten to meet her at all? And obviously it's special for her, special that she's the first person and only one so far to have their number retired. But did you get a chance to at least meet Teresa in like this offseason after you got hired and watch kind of what she meant to this program?
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not get a chance to meet her. And condolences to her family, and had a chance to visit with her sister a little bit. But, you know, what a tragic, unfortunate situation. She's somebody that's truly left a legacy behind. I know when she was inducted and her jersey was retired, she had a lot of family that was here and had a chance to celebrate that with her and see the legacy that she had left behind. But when you're talking about the longevity of this women's basketball program, to have one player that has their jersey retired, and she's the one. What an incredible career that she's had. And so, no, I didn't have a chance to meet her, did visit with her family, but really unfortunate situation.
If I can ask a follow-up, Sam's microphone. Was the decision to wear the retro uniforms, was that pre-planned, or was that kind of just out of kind of respect for that? I know they say legacy on the back. I figured it was kind of fitting wearing that right after her passing.
Yeah, that's above my pay grade. Sorry about that. I don't even know what color jersey we're in. I'm too focused on the execution of things, but yeah, I'm not sure.